Hi, this is Laurel Miller, and this is my internship presentation. I started this YouTube channel called Relationship 411 with Megan and Laurel with my sister-in-law, Megan. She asked me before I even started my internship if I would like to start a YouTube channel with her and share all the things that I had been sharing with our family. And of course, I thought that was a great idea. I did not have any idea how challenging and how much time consuming it and what a learning curve there would be in creating this YouTube channel. In Relationship 411, our goal is to help people develop and strengthen relationships that matter. We have taken things from textbooks and data-driven information and peer-reviewed studies and put it into a nice, concise, small version to help parents, adults, teens, and children to have better relationships. We started with parent-teenager relationships, so our first episodes are revolving around that. We also have a second series called Did You Know? That series is all about what I learned that week in my studies. And it's a quick little tidbit to help you learn something new that passing on information I learned. The responsibilities I've had in this internship were to create and research content, learn how to create a YouTube channel, and how to edit these videos and record them in a way that is usable, user-friendly for YouTube, and post them to YouTube. So this is a screen of my editing board, my storyboard, and this is, I think, my episode number 3 that I was editing, no, number 2. And there's a huge learning curve. The first episodes that we put together took somewhere between 14 to 24 hours of recording. And in that process, we learned how to make our scripts more concise, smaller pieces. And then, as you can see right behind my picture, there is we did Zoom calls because I live in a different state than Megan, and so we couldn't record next to in the same room. So we did Zoom calls, and we figured out that if we could start and end our sessions, recording sessions together, then we could work on our individual recordings and then piece those together. And that works so much better, so much faster. Creating content that people are interested in, really almost anything you learn in marriage and family studies in our degree is so helpful. Most people, the general public, don't have that information. So when you can pass on something that you've learned, it is so helpful to the general public. Making connections is so important. That is what this life is all about. The connections we make help us feel loved and valued. And as a mother of 4 children and a wife for over 24 years, I know a little bit about trying to make connections and failing, and also trying to make connections and winning through experience and trials that we learn through of experiencing where you really, really want to make a connection with someone, and then you realize it was taken in the wrong way, and then going back and realizing there's a different way to communicate. And one of the classes that I've taken this in my career, college career, is conflict management. That has been so helpful. Also learning parenting skills through the parenting class and the marriage and family class, learning about the family dynamics in The family dynamic and family theories class has all of those combined together to create information on how people's minds work, how to make connections that matter. And that is something that I've strived to share in our YouTube channel, to pass on that information. Of course, I'm not a perfect example of doing everything right, but I don't think there is anyone really, besides maybe God, who knows how to make perfect connections. And yet, even God struggles with people who choose not to make connections. And we see that in real life. You may want so badly to fix a relationship, and if the other person on the other side does not want to fix that relationship, there's nothing to be fixed at that moment. And you just need to love and wait until they're ready. Okay, here is my video on how your parents affect your love life.
Did you know that your relationship with your parents affects who you choose to be in a partnership with? Let me share some of this with you. There's the theory of secure attachment. So secure attachment, when you're growing up, means that with your parents, you felt warmth and love and supportiveness from them. Now, how this acts for you is that it creates this feeling of, I view myself as more likable, easy to get to know, I'm comfortable with intimacy, and I rarely worry about being abandoned. Now, how this plays out in the relationship is that you are more able to develop relationships of trust and happiness and friendship. And you're able to, in a partnership, have support and conflict resolution, which also means that you and your partner are comfortable with each other. You're comfortable with conflict, not that we like it, but you're able to work through it, and with sexual activities together. The next part of this theory is the avoidant attachment. So people with avoidant attachment typically had parents that were demanding, disrespectful, and critical. They feel in their personal relationships with their partners, they distrust them, and they have some anxiety about people getting too close to them. And they're convinced that people really dislike them, and that romantic love is very hard to find and it rarely lasts. These relationships are also filled with jealousy and emotional distance and lack of support when someone is in distress, and little enjoyment in physical contact. And these people with avoidant attachment are more likely to have casual sexual encounters. They have these, and it goes along with the belief that partners can't change, that men and women's needs are different, and mind reading, mind reading means that you're saying stuff like, you should know what I'm thinking. The last part of this theory is resistant attachment, meaning that the people that have a resistant attachment had parents that were unresponsive, unpredictable, and unfair to them. And in their personal relationships, when they grow up, they have this intense need to have someone to love them and be stable in their life. And with this intense need, they worry that their need will overwhelm those that they love and care for, and that their partners don't really love them and don't want to stay with them. There's that fear there. And their relationships are filled with jealousy, emotional highs and lows, and they're desperate to have their partner meet their needs and give them affection. Resistant adults will offer support, but just inappropriately at the wrong times. And they're also quick to express fear and anger. And they also disclose information about themselves, but they do it at inappropriate times. if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh shoot, I checked the boxes off in a category that I'm not happy with, and I'm not liking where my relationships are going, I would like to be in the secure attachment category, there's a way to do it. There's therapy, and don't be embarrassed about therapy. Everybody had their parents mess them up at some point. It's just normal. Parents are imperfect. I'm now a parent and I realize my kids will need therapy from what I do. We all make mistakes. So there's a way to work through it. And there's also books that you can read to help you through this. There's a way to change.